Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of the Terror Talks. I'm your host, Jeremy, and on today's episode, we are talking all about Lake Hickory Haunts, located up in Hickory, North Carolina. This was our first time getting to attend this fabulous haunt. As we did not get to visit it last year, we had every intention of making it out there last year, but unfortunately, due to some scheduling constraints, we were unable to attend. But this year, we were very privileged to attend on their final night of regular operations. That's right. We were there on November 6th, which was their final night to attend the haunt with all of the lights on, because the following weekend, on November 12th and 13th, they do a special blackout night. That's right, a special blackout night. They turn all the lights off in the entire haunt. They send you through with nothing but a glow stick, and the odds may be ever in your favor, to quote the Hunger Games. But we were very, very pleased to check out this haunted house as they celebrated their 10 years of fears. This was their 10th anniversary, and we couldn't think of a more fitting haunt to attend than this one, because we had seen a lot of great things about it. We've seen a lot of videos on it, and it was absolutely amazing. So on September 18th, 2021, Lake Hickory Haunts opened their doors to their first unsuspecting guests for the 2021 haunt season. Be prepared to be scared, celebrating 10 years of fear. Known as the best haunt in the Carolinas, Lake Hickory Haunts is a one-of-a-kind haunted theme park, featuring a large body of water surrounded by 12 unique haunted attractions. Throughout these attractions, guests experience awe-inspiring immersive environments, multi-dimensional special effects, and breathtaking scares. Since 2012, Lake Hickory Haunts and its team of experts have continuously innovated and improved its experience, delivering never-before-seen experiences to North Carolina haunt-goers and fans from around the country. Now, during its 10th season of operation, Lake Hickory Haunts is expanding and improving its operations, facilities, and attractions more than ever before. Celebrate 10 years of fear with us at Lake Hickory Haunts 2021, featuring so many improvements and additions that you will not believe it until you see it for yourself. If you're a fan of Lake Hickory Haunts, haunted attractions, thrilling experiences, and/or entertainment, you don't want to miss Lake Hickory Haunts 2021. So that's right, this is their 10th anniversary, and they really knocked it out of the park for their 10th anniversary. I was very, very pleased. So this haunted attraction, as they say, has 12 attractions around the lake. So this entire haunted house is literally built around a giant body of water, Lake Hickory. And, you almost sort of wonder at first, like, is it really though? And when you get there, you go, yes, it really is. And it's quite impressive. I was very surprised when I arrived there to get to a certain portion of the Midway where you could sort of overlook the attraction and you could kind of see it. You saw the light and the fog and all that stuff emanating from the lake, and that's all you could see from up there, but you could hear the screams from below. You could see everything that alludes to this massive attraction, because it really is a massive attraction. They tell you it takes 45 minutes to go through. It took us about 45 minutes, I'd say. We got in there about 8:30. We got out about 9:15, 9:20-ish. That's not including the wait once you get in line. But it was very, very cool. So as they said, they have 12 different attractions that coincide with the haunt, and they call them 12 different attractions, but in a way, they're sort of all one big, massive attraction. But it is neat because they're all like mini haunted houses as you go through, and some of them are longer than others. Like the first one we went into, that was actually a really long haunted attraction, and then you went to a couple other ones, they were a little shorter, but then you got to another one, and that one was a little longer. And like it sort of varied in terms of how long each one was, but it definitely felt like several different haunted houses all wrapped into one, and I thought that was a really cool thing that they do. So we're going to just sort of briefly talk about the different attractions here at Lake Hickory Haunts. So first you have the Nightmare Factory. Dr. Death and his evil nurses have created a serum called NR2. The fluid took the most terrifying experiences from victims and combined them into a physical slime. You will be showered by NR2 upon entry. The fast-acting liquid turns fear into reality. No safe word, no escape. Horrifying hallucinations await in the Nightmare Factory. So this was a really cool one that we got to experience going through. This was actually one of the longer ones that we saw, and just the detail work, and it was very, very impressive. Next, we have Lair of the Undead. Undead souls wander endlessly in despair. They will do anything to come back to life and escape the nightmarish realm of blackness that is their eternity. You are the last chance for these evil spirits to come back to life. Will you make it through alive or become trapped in the lair of the undead? Again, another really cool little. I hate to call them mini haunted houses, but in a way, it's a mini haunted house. And this one was more of the outdoor one. It had a lot of coffins and caskets. I guess they're the same thing, sort of. A lot of undead sort of people, tombs, graves. You would wander around. It was really, really cool. Actually, the detail work was very impressive. Then you have Shipwrecked. An undead crew of pirates shipwrecked at Lake Hickory Haunts. They blame mortals for their misfortune and have united with voodoo doctors to loot, torture, and massacre all. Be careful. You might become the next voodoo sacrifice or be recruited by the undead for an eternity of pain. So this one was sort of like a little pirate town, voodoo witch doctor kind of thing. Some interesting characters when you went through here. You definitely saw pirates and you saw some like witch doctors and things like that. But there's a lot of really cool things happening in here. There was actually a very comedic kind of character in here. He had sort of like a interesting kind of accent, Transylvania almost, and talking about saving a toe or the nose off of somebody in the middle. It was kind of funny actually, but not so much a scary part of it, but it was still kind of neat. Up next, we have my personal favorite, Aquaphobia. In 1931, not long after Lake Hickory was created, a fishing village located along the banks of Lake Hickory was prosperous. Too prosperous, in fact. While the village grew more successful and productive in their fishing efforts, the lake's ecosystem and its water life diminished. Obsessed with wealth, the fishermen of the village caught, sold, and consumed more and more fish, while dumping more and more waste into the water. Until one day, the tide was turned. Furious with the gluttonous villagers, a water demon known as Vodiano had his revenge. Vodiano destroyed the village dam, causing the city to flood and eventually sinking into the depths of water. During the flood, the malevolent demon dragged many villagers down to his underwater dwelling to serve him as slaves. Now, 89 years later, the village has risen from the depths. It is said that the village and surrounding water is the most demonically possessed location on Earth. Rumor has it that the city is plagued with death, famine, and unexplained water disasters. Surrounding the sunken village, you may encounter seductive sirens, monstrous sea creatures, possessed fishermen, floods, and worst of all, Vodiano. So this was a very interesting sort of concept and portion of the house. It was very cool to see all the detail work that went into this. They literally created a small fishing village, and I was just so utterly impressed with this part, and it was absolutely my favorite. You actually walked out over the water, and I thought that was really, really cool. Next, we have Extinction. Cluath has emerged from Lake Hickory set on world domination by the genocide of the human race. The beast is doing experiments in his sea laboratory with humans, sea creatures, and other monstrosities to form a mutated army destined to destroy mankind. Cluath's power cannot be stopped. Become a part of Cluath's killing machine or face extinction. This was another really cool one. The detail work in here was very, very well done. You actually felt like you were going through this sort of sci-fi sort of realm. Everything was very sci-fi-esque, lots of technological sort of looking things as you went through here. It was very, very cool. I was very impressed going through this one. This was definitely a second favorite for me. Up next, we have Aftermath. Those who survive extinction must inhabit the city of Aftermath, a post-apocalyptic city with a giant territorial wall surrounding it. Using buses, cars, metal, and anything else they can get their hands on, survivalists have built a small city surrounded by walls to protect themselves from outside threats. Aftermath is populated by those who have survived extinction. Tread lightly. The inhabitants of Aftermath are extremely aggressive and defensive. In a world of limited resources, these survivalists will do whatever it takes to survive. Anything and anyone that doesn't live within their walls are a threat to their survival. Using guns, man-made weapons, and tools, these once civilized humans are now a force to be reckoned with. This was another really cool one. It was a little shorter. This was one of the shorter ones, but it was very cool. They used some school buses, or I don't know if they're school buses, but they were buses of sorts. As part of this set, you actually walked onto the bus, and that was kind of neat. And anybody who knows, you know, when you go on a bus, it's kind of an interesting thing that's going to happen in there. You're definitely going to get scared at some point on there because that's just what happens. Up next, we have Slaughterhouse. Standing beyond the banks of Lake Hickory is a slaughterhouse which was once abandoned. In the early 1900s, this slaughterhouse was utilized mostly for cattle and some chicken. Unfortunately, the slaughterhouse was closed and condemned due to modern corporations taking over the industry. However, in 2017, the slaughterhouse has reopened its chutes with new intentions. The most brutal, horrendous, and cynical cannibals have taken shelter in the slaughterhouse, with a monstrous madman named Leatherface on the loose, along with many other horrors. The slaughterhouse is a sick and demented place that no human should see. The slaughterhouse family possesses endless tools and torture devices they will use to capture humans. If you ever find yourself close enough to see the Lake Hickory Slaughterhouse, run. So this one was your typical kind of slaughterhouse one. Lots of hanging body parts and pigs and corpses and blood and guts. This place had it. Like, this was very gory. It even had like the smell on point at one part of it. Up next, we have Descent. Hidden beneath a filthy sewer, an underground cave contains many secrets, treasures, and horrors. Within Descent, victims encounter awe-inspiring water caverns, rock formation caves, darkness, and much more. As you descend into Descent, you will quickly realize you're making your way into a legitimate underground cave. Soon after, you realize that the horrid sewer was in front of the cave system for a reason, to hide the cave systems from human contact. Upon first sight, the caverns and caves are wondrously beautiful to gaze upon. However, further exploration reveals that the horrors and predators lurking throughout the depths of Descent are far worse. Prepare to explore the depths of the beautifully treacherous cave systems within Descent. If you see any creatures lurking throughout the caverns, stay silent and get away. Oh, and if there are any cave collapses, Descent will be your grave. Descent is truly an underground haunted attraction. When used, the words cave and underground should be interpreted literally. If you have a legitimate, unmanageable phobia of being underground or of cave systems, please see a Lake Hickory Haunts customer management representative so we may assist you in bypassing this attraction. So yeah, this one is literally taking you underground, and this was one where I got the absolute shit scared out of me because there was a Pennywise in the sewer, and it was the new Pennywise. It wasn't the old Pennywise from the original It films. It was the new one, and the voice was on point, the makeup was on point, and I was frozen to the spot. I would not move, and I was scared to death. But this is, like they said, truly an underground attraction, because when you go in there, all of the sounds from outside actually do stop. So you can, like, it becomes soundproof because you are literally underground. So that's kind of neat. I didn't realize that going into it. And now that I realize that now, I'm like, okay, that's really, really neat. That's a neat touch. So that was really cool. But like they say, it is not for the faint of heart. So, you know, if you did have a phobia of going through there, I would not go through that one. Next, we have Big Top Circus. Boss the Clown brings new meaning to the term evil clown. He has one goal: turn everyone into mutated clowns by sinister science. Boss uses the circus to lure victims into his laboratory. Once in his power, Boss begins the human to clone process. The terror, madness, and agony that await within are beyond compare. You thought you were afraid of clowns. Not a chance. Again, this is your typical clown one. It was a lot of fun to go through and experience. I really enjoyed this one because they brought the element of 3D in with this house, and I thought that was a really cool thing they did. I love the 3D haunts. Yeah, it's sort of a cheap gimmick, some will say, but I thought it worked really well and they did a good job with it, so good on them for that. Up next, we have the Mangler. The grand finale of nightmares. The Mangler is a death machine with one purpose: to mutilate and destroy all who enter. If you're lucky enough to survive the rest of Lake Hickory Haunts, the Mangler will be waiting, and the Mangler never fails. So again, this is the big grand finale of the entire haunt. It was it was okay. I mean, it wasn't very big and boisterous like I would have liked it to be, but it was still fun. I think I was just expecting some saws or something like that going off as we went through that portion. So unfortunately, it wasn't as exciting as I thought. But yeah. So now let's talk about our initial thoughts and our score for Haunted House, our overall rating. Um, Obviously, as of the day we're recording this, there is not really any more opportunity to go to this haunted attraction. You can, if you're listening to this, like literally the day we're releasing it, you do have a chance to go check out their blackout night. So I do encourage you to go check that out. But at this point, this is just a full on review, letting you know our thoughts. And so if you don't make it out for blackout night at Lake Hickory Haunts, well, we highly encourage you to go back out there next year and check it out. So let's break it down. So when you first arrive at Lake Hickory Haunts, you are very impressed. I will go ahead and forewarn you do have to pay for parking, $5. However, once you get around to the portion where you park, let them know that if you don't have cash, and they will allow you to pay at the booth. And please, if they do allow you to do that, be honest. When you get up to that ticket booth to buy your ticket, make sure you give the $5 for your car, or you pay with your card, however it be you're doing it. If that's your situation, you don't have cash, you got to pay with card. Please be honest with them, because they are doing that out of the goodness of their heart to make sure that everyone gets a chance to experience this. They didn't have to do it for me, and they did. And that I could tell they were very appreciative of me being honest. So good on them for that. Like, that is really, really cool that they were able to do that for me. But once you get up there, they got this great big building where you'll buy your tickets and do all that fun stuff. And that's actually a brand new building that they just recently constructed. And it was really, really cool. I mean, like, it's this massive towering structure, and it feels very, very professional. Everything about this haunt is very, very professional. So it's very, very neat to approach it and check it out. Well, then once you get through all that, you are given your ticket, and then they give you a card. And this card has I guess you could call it a horror icon's name on it. So we had Pinhead on ours. Other people might have had Jason Voorhees, Freddy Krueger, Michael Myers, Chucky, you name it. There was a whole bunch of them. The purpose of this is kind of like a bingo card in a way. This is how they get you into the haunted attraction. So you take that card and you go down to the Midway where the haunt is, and there's a DJ who's like, all right, if you have Pinhead come into the attraction, then you will make your way to the attraction. If you are not going there, if you try to go in there when another name has been called, they will not let you in. Now, if you have the VIP, one of the VIP passes, then you can get in the haunt immediately whenever you'd like. That's the one of the big perks of that, is basically you get to choose when you want to go in. And so that's a neat little feature. Good on them for having that option. So when you get here, there are two midways that you can check out. So they have one in the upper lot, one in the lower lot. So the upper lot is kind of a big dance party. They've got a concession stand. They've got all sorts of fun stuff. They've got escape rooms and a 4D Asylum experience and different things. Coffin simulator, all sorts of fun stuff, and some great photo opportunities up here. And so you can hang out in this one, or you can hang out in the lower lot and go down to that one. Um, this one was a lot of fun when we arrived there, because there was a DJ playing music and such, and getting the crowd pumped up. He would, like, had the cha-cha slide on one of the, or not the cha-cha slide, the Cupid shuffle, and one of the scare actors was out there, and he started getting out on the floor dancing. It was real cool. I thought that was a lot of fun to witness that. I thought that was really, really cool. But this is just one of the midways. So, like I said, there are two of them. This one, like I said, has the concession stands and all this other stuff. It's also got a VIP lounge and a fire pit, sort of, This one's like an enclosed fire pit, but it's to keep you warm and whatnot. But lots of fun stuff happening up there. But then what you do is you take this long pathway down to the second Midway. And usually what's happening down here is they've got some live bands playing. They've got some more photo ops, another fire pit. They've got this thing called Dracula's Dizzy Darts. They've got axe throwing for 18 and up only, of course. More concessions, and that's actually where the haunted house is. But we were actually very privileged to go on the night that they did have live entertainment, and that was really, really cool, really fun. There was an awesome band called Replica, and they were doing some like sort of heavy, I don't want to say heavy metal. I mean, it's not really metal, but it's like very hard rock kind of sound. They were really good. I really enjoyed them. I got some video of them playing. Yeah, so definitely go check them out if you get a chance. I'm sure they're on all of the listing platforms. They're really, really cool, though. We really enjoyed listening to them play. And so that's always really cool when you go to a haunted house and they have live entertainment like that, because not all of them do. So that's always a fun little feature if a haunted house has that. So good on them. But so they had all these different things you could do, lots of ways to kill time while you're waiting for the haunted house, waiting to get in. And like I said, there was one portion when you were coming down that little pathway where you could sort of look over and see the haunt and see how it literally is surrounding the lake. And that was really, really cool and got you real excited for what you were about to get into. So I was very, very pleased with that. But let's break it down into our 6 categories and let's just talk about it. So up first, we have sets. So for sets, we gave them a 5 out of 5 screams. The sets in this place were nothing short of amazing. The detail work was so impressive. Every scene that you went into, the set played a pivotal part in making sure that you knew where you were. And that was not missed upon by me at all. Like, you could tell everything was very, very clear. It was very evident if you were going into the Nightmare Factory, the Lair of the Undead, the Shipwrecked, any of that, any scene, you knew where you were going. And the detail work on these sets was nothing short of amazing. They just impressed me so much with the attention to detail in this haunt. It was really, really impressive. And everything really played into the scenes very well. And you could tell that there was no places where they sort of skimped out or, tried to be cheap about it. They were very, very defined in everything that they did. So very good on them for having such amazing sets, for having such amazing detail work done. Up next, we have makeup, costumes, and special effects. Again, we're giving them a 5 out of 5 on this. All of the detail work that was done on all of the characters was done very, very well. It was very impressive to see some of the costume designs, some of the makeup designs, because everyone was looking very unique. Everybody, you could tell it wasn't just some like quick couple streaks of black on a face and like, all right, get on your way. Like, you could tell there was actual thought into these costumes and makeup, all the design work that was done. It was done for a reason, and it helped to further the story and give the overall effect of the haunted house and the haunted attraction. It was very, very well done, and like I said, I could not see anywhere where anything was skimped out on, especially when I got to the Pennywise character later on, and we'll talk about that in the scares, because he was dead on, like so accurate. It looked like the real thing, and when it played into the darkness, he was like, all you could see was his shadow. It was perfect. Up next, we have technical effects. There was a lot of really great technical effects. And as I've said before, technical effects can be not just like, oh, this moving or not, but technical effects are sound, lighting, moving platforms, anything that is going to play into being a sort of technical effect. Anything that's going to help with the ambiance of the thing, that's what a technical effect is. And so for technical effects, we gave them a 5 out of 5 as well. Lots of really great stuff happening in here with, lots of fog moments, lots of great lighting techniques used to create the ambiance of where you were going. Some places, absolutely no lighting, and it was pitch black, and it scared the living crap out of you. But it was really good. The sound track that you heard in different portions was done really, really well. It was just a fabulous time. There was some moving set pieces at times which caught me off guard. Some set pieces moved ways that I had never experienced in a haunted house before, and I thought that was kind of neat to see some different techniques used. Because some haunted houses will just go, okay, use that one. It's been proven to work 1,000 times. But in this case, there were actually some that were used in different ways and things I hadn't even considered as a possibility before. So good on them for doing that. All right, we're going to take a short little break. And then when we come back, we're going to talk about the scares, the pacing, and the actors and team behind Lake Hickory Haunts. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Hey there, Terror Talk fans. Are you looking for a new way to let your voice be heard? If so, check out our friends at Anchor. Anchor is a one-stop shop for creating your very own podcast. They offer editing tools to create your podcast, which include your audio, listener audio, unique transitions, and custom advertisements. In addition, they'll also help you distribute your podcast to other listener sources, such as Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many others. With this unique app, you also have the chance to get paid for your podcast by simply placing ads for various sponsors in your videos. Best part of it all? It is 100% free. Anchor does all the work for you and makes podcasting as simple as turning on a light. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. That's ANCHOR.FM. Whether you're new to podcasting, doing it as a hobby, or hosting a professional show, Anchor is the place for you. And we are back, ladies and gentlemen, here on the Terror Talks episode 47, where we are talking all about Lake Hickory haunted attractions up in Lake Hickory, North Carolina. So before the break, we talked about the sets, the costumes and makeup design, and the technical effects, all scoring perfect 5s across the board. Now we're going to talk about the scares, the pacing, and the actors and team behind Lake Hickory Haunts. So for scares, we are giving them a 4 out of 5. I know, very strange that we're going to give this really great haunted house a 4 out of 5 on scares. I did it for one reason, because there simply were not a lot of scares for me going through here. Now, that being said, there were some good ones. I did experience scares going through here, and there were definitely several moments that made me jump and scream and go, oh, wow. But unfortunately, it just wasn't enough to give it a perfect 5, because there was just a lot of dead space. I'm not going to lie. There was a lot of dead space in terms of actors, but the ones who did, come at me, they knew how to get me. But then there were some who, I don't know if their job wasn't necessarily to scare or if it was more so to entertain. And so that kind of had a little bit of an effect on my rating of this. So unfortunately, we are giving them a 4 out of 5. But I will say that there was one particular scare that got me so good that for the first time in my life going through a haunted house, I froze. I would not move. I held up the whole group entirely. It was actually like shaking me to my core. And that was in the descent part of the haunted attraction where you were going down in this underground sewer tunnel. Well, while you're down there, you encounter Pennywise. Yeah, Pennywise from the new It, not the original one, not the Tim Curry one, but the Bill Skarsgård one, who I can argue is actually more creepy than the Tim Curry one, which is very tough because Tim Curry is a naturally creepy guy, but the Bill Skarsgård one, that will give you nightmares. And when you don't think you'll ever in your life encounter that face to face, you're like, okay, there's no way it can ever hurt me. Well, then you get there and he's right there, and it was creepy as I literally almost shit myself when I saw him. I had been going at a pretty slow pace throughout the haunted attraction. The people behind me were very appreciative of that. They loved my pacing. And then when we got to him, he sort of emerged from the darkness because I like saw us walking towards this sewer tunnel, and I was like, "Oh, interesting. What is this?" And I was like, all like, "Oh yeah," having a good time going. And then I heard, "Hiya, Georgie." Of course, that's not a good impression, but his sounded like the movie, and I panicked. I froze. I think I let out every explicit in the book right then and there because I knew Pennywise was right here in front of me. And that was it for me. There was no way I was moving forward. There was no way I was going to make it through the rest of this haunted house at this point. And so for a moment, I had to kind of sit there and ponder what to do next until finally I said, okay, fine, let's go. And I mustered up the courage to move forward. And I didn't die because I'm talking to you now. But the entire time we went through this little section, it was pitch black. We were underground, so everything was soundproof, basically. And he was right here in my ear the whole way down this hallway saying, "You'll float too. You'll float too. We all float down here." Until he finally screams in my ear, "You'll float too." And what I will say is when he yelled, "You'll float too," it kind of, his character broke a little. He wasn't quite Pennywise anymore. But up until that point, he was Pennywise all day long. I thought I was going to die, and that was the end of my life. And of course, the people behind me are like, "Oh, you must be scared of clowns." I'm like, no, no, no. I'm not scared of clowns. I'm scared of that clown. Because that's the thing. That is one clown you don't think you're ever going to meet face to face. And for the longest time, people always said, "Oh, they need to make an it house. We need to see Pennywise in a haunted attraction somewhere." And nobody ever did it. Well, maybe someone did it, but I never experienced it. It's not something that's very common. And so even the mere inclusion of him here is enough to just scare you to death. And it scared me to death all day long. I have never been so scared in a haunted house before. I can safely say that. I have never been so scared. And it was great, but at the same time, I was ready to check out right then and there. And that's never happened to me in a haunt before. Like, that was a first for me. So good on them. I applaud them for that. But at the same time, I hate you for scaring me that badly. um, so, hey, for the heck of it, we'll give them a 5 out of 5 screams just for that scare, because that scare got me good enough that that made me scared to death. So, you know what? Lake Hickory Haunts, you just earned yourself a scare back. You're getting 5 out of 5 screams for scares. For pacing, we're giving them a 5 out of 5 screams because the pacing was perfect. That's all I can really say. They told me at the beginning it's going to take you about 45 minutes to go through this attraction, and it took us about 45 minutes to go through this attraction. And whether it be because of me or whether it just be because of the sheer length of this, it it took the 45. It was probably one of the longest haunted attractions I've ever walked through. And that was fantastic for me. I was so excited about that because there was so much to see, there was so much to do, and it was done very, very well. Nothing felt rushed. It didn't feel like they were trying to rush you through it at any point that I can think of. Everything was very evenly sort of spaced out. Um, there really wasn't a whole lot of dead space between getting from one attraction to the next. Most of them kind of seamlessly went right from one into the other. There was always a big sign that said, "Hey, this is what you're going into next." And it was done beautifully. It really was done beautifully. And I have no complaints about that pacing. I feel like we got our money's worth. I didn't have to scream at anyone and say, "No, I'm getting my money's worth." It was perfect. Finally, for actors and team, we're giving them a 5 out of 5 screams. The team, the actors, everybody was on point. Anybody who we did interact with was 100% there, top of their game, doing their job, did a fantastic job. They were doing everything they had to, whether it was out on the Midway or whether it was inside the attraction, whether it was outside the haunt buying tickets. You name it, they got it. They did a great job. They were very, very kind. They were very helpful. And you could tell they loved what they did. They were so excited to be celebrating 10 years. And I just was so impressed with the professionalism of everybody. Nobody broke character once. Nobody did anything out of the ordinary that you shouldn't do in a haunted house. I was very, very impressed with everything. Everyone seemed very happy to be working there. And I had an absolute ball with them. They were really awesome. So 5 out of 5 for for that. So let's run through it. Sets, we have 5 out of 5. Costumes and makeup, 5 out of 5. Special technical effects, 5 out of 5. Scares, we gave them a 5 out of 5. Pacing, a 5 out of 5. And actors and team, 5 out of 5. Coming in at a grand total of, drumroll please, 5 out of 5 screams. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Lake Hickory Haunts is a 5 out of 5 scream rated haunted attraction. Definitely well deserved. You guys definitely need to give yourselves a great big round of applause for that. You deserve every bit of praise that you get, whether it be from us, from other people. Fantastic. So, if you want to visit Lake Hickory Haunts, you do have 2 more chances this season, but they are going to be a little bit different. So you can go visit them on November 12th and November 13th. November 12th is when we are releasing this episode. November 13th is the day after. But you will not get the typical haunt experience. You are going to get the lights out version, the blackout version, total darkness. So that's going to be on November 12th and November 13th. If you buy your tickets online, general admission is $25 plus tax. Fast pass is $40 plus tax. And a VIP pass is $65 plus tax. If you buy them on site, general admission is going to be $26, so just $1 more. Fast pass is $41, so $1 more. VIP pass is the same, $65. So definitely check those out. So the general admission will get you access to both Midways and the whole haunt, but you will have to wait for your group name to be called. So as I said before, you'll wait for something like Pennywise or who knows, Pinhead, Jason Voorhees, whatever it is. Fast Pass also grants you access to both Midways and the haunt, but you may enter the Fast Pass queue line as soon as you would like. You don't have to wait on the Midways. The Fast Pass queue is shorter, it moves faster. It's fantastic. And then finally, the VIP pass, you're granted priority access to the attraction. You can enter the main attraction as soon as you would like. Like, we're talking immediate access. So you walk in there, say, hey, I'm a VIP, you're getting in. Then you also get a free VIP t-shirt, access to the all-new VIP lounge with free refreshments, a VIP sticker, and some other great perks. We did not do the VIP pass this year. Maybe we'll check it out next year. It might be something worth doing. All ticket types are valid for one use only, so you will get in one time. That's it. If you want to go through again, you go spend the money, you get in again. When purchasing tickets, select which night you plan on visiting. If you are unable to visit on the night you choose, you may use your ticket on any other night that matches your night's color or is a lighter color than yours. If you can only come on a darker color night, you may visit will call upon arrival and pay the difference. So see, they're willing to work with you on issues like that. Of course, this principle doesn't really apply for the duration of the haunt season because we're kind of at the end of it now. But for future reference for next year, I'm sure these policies will still be in place. But good on them for being so willing to help out. Parking is $5 cash only. As I said before, if you pull up, you don't have cash, tell them, they will work with you. They did with me. And I don't believe I was the only one they worked with. I think they worked with another guy as well who was a couple cars ahead of me. Just tell them, hey, I don't have cash on me. Can I pay at the ticket booth? And they will work with you. And like I said, please be honest with them. When you get up to that ticket booth, make sure you say, hey, I need to pay for my parking ticket as well. Granted, some people will not do this, and shame on you if you don't do that, but help them out. That $5 is going into somebody's pocket to better this haunted house, or to pay an actor who's given you a great experience, or one of the workers who's helping park the cars. So be honest with them, do what you've got to do your part, and say, hey, I didn't bring my cash with me, and pay with your card. And they are totally understanding of that. They are not gonna have any gripes or groans about that, honestly. Military, police, fire, and EMS discounts, $3 off on site with your ID. This cannot be combined with any other discounts, offers, or coupons. As I said before, parking is $5 per car, $20 per large passenger vehicle, so that's 20 plus passengers. Again, cash only. I'm not sure what the policy is with a large passenger vehicle as opposed to regular vehicle. If you can say, hey, I didn't bring cash, something like that. I'm not sure what that policy is there. I imagine it's the same, but I don't know. Don't quote me on that. Yeah. Sales tax is not included in any of the prices either. So be sure to go out there and check out Lake Hickory Haunts. They are going to be open November 12th and November 13th for their special blackout nights. Cannot talk today. Very strange. But it is definitely a fun time. You definitely want to go out there and check it out. On those blackout nights, according to this calendar, they will be open from 7 to 10, and there are some opening ceremonies happening from 7:15 to 7:45. I did not get to check this out. I didn't get to see it, but I'm sure it was something really, really cool. I wish I could have witnessed it. Maybe next year we'll make it out there at time of opening. We were supposed to be there by opening, and we were very, very close, but not close enough. But yeah, you definitely want to go check out these guys. They are a lot of fun. They know how to have fun. They are one of the best haunted houses I personally have been to. It is an absolute ball. So get out there, check them out. If you don't check them out this year, you can always come back next year. They would love to have you. I can promise you that. If you want to follow them on any of their social medias, you can find them on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, YouTube, and TikTok. All of their information is located in the description below, as well as their email, phone number to contact them. Absolutely fantastic people. Definitely want to go check them out. They are located at 520 Carolina Avenue, Hickory, North Carolina, 28601. Go check them out. Go follow them on all of their social medias. You will be absolutely glad you did. Go check them out for their special blackout night. You definitely don't want to miss it. And if you don't make it out this year, be sure to go out there next year and try again, because it is absolutely worth it. It is so much fun. They are fantastic. So definitely go check it out. Let them know the Terror Talk sent you. Let them know you heard about them through us. We are so very excited about them, and congratulations to Lake Hickory Haunts for celebrating 10 years of fear. You've been in the game for 10 years, and here's to 10 more. I hope that we're here covering 20, 25, 30. I hope for that. I really am excited to see what those big anniversaries really bring to the table. And congratulations on getting a 5 out of 5 Scream rating from us. It is well deserved. You guys definitely earned it. So congratulations to you. But that is going to do it for us today here on episode 47 of the Terror Talks, where we are talking about Lake Hickory Haunts. Be sure to go check them out. Check them out at all their social medias. Follow them to see about all of their fun stuff coming up over the next year. If you don't make it out for Blackout Night, definitely come back out next year for their haunt season. And if you can make it out for Blackout Night, I highly encourage you to go check it out. We would go, but unfortunately, things just aren't going to work out for us to make it out for Blackout Night. But we would love to experience it. But unfortunately, this year it's just not going to work out that way. So maybe next year. But that is going to do it for us today. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to hit that like, comment, and subscribe button. Send us a message at theterrortalks@gmail.com or contact us on any one of our various social medias. Let us know what you liked, what you didn't like, what you want to hear. We love to hear from you guys. The fans help us to continue pushing out some great content. If you want to give us a little bit of extra support, you can go check out our Patreon. You can subscribe to any one of our packages on Patreon. And with that, you will get all sorts of various perks like bonus content, merch, all sorts of fun stuff. So go give us a little bit of extra support, or you can simply just donate to us on our Anchor website. If you go to our Anchor website, there is a link where you can donate a little bit, give as little as you want, whether it be a penny, $1, $10, $100, $1,000, whatever you want to do to help better the channel, to help us push the channel in a forward trajectory. We are very appreciative of any donations, whether they are little or whether they are huge. We don't care. We're appreciative of them, and we thank you from the bottom of our hearts for whatever you can give. Finally, we want to thank you guys so much for coming along on these journeys with us. Just because the haunt season is technically over does not mean that this is over. We are going to keep going throughout the year. We've got our co-host, Brooke. She'll be here on several episodes sharing in so many fun experiences with us. Be sure to go check out our episode with her, episode 46, where we had her on for the first time. We've got a couple more episodes coming out to end the spooky season on a big note. We've got our big Halloween Horror Nights review, so we're going to give you our full review of the Halloween Horror Nights 30 event. We were very privileged to attend that several times this year, so that was a lot of fun. Lots of fun stuff, and like I said, we've got so many great things coming up. You know, we've got information on some Christmas haunts coming up. We'll talk about those. We're going to try to attend some of those and give you some coverage there as well. So haunt season is year-round for us. We don't stop. So thank you guys for helping us, and we hope you appreciate what we do. You know, we love to bring you the coverage on all of these haunted attractions. So thank you so much for allowing us to do what we do. We could not do it without you. Give yourself a big round of applause. That is going to do it for us today here on episode 47, where we're talking about Lake Hickory Haunts. Be sure to go check them out today if you can. Go check them out today. And if you can't check them out today, go check them out next year, because they are worth the visit. Go follow them on all their socials and check them out. Until next time, be safe out there. Don't text and drive. And be excellent to each other. We'll see you in the fog. Take care, guys.